Good morning to you on this rainy Monday morning. Supposedly, as we get further into the week, we will, have better weather. So it sure can't be any worse, that's for sure. I wanted to mention to you for this Friday, February the 1st, that there is an evaluation of customer service, and 95% of the students in this class will write about a place from the perspective of an employee. And if you have not worked in some time, or if you've never really had a job, you can always write about customer service from the perspective of the customer. So, you can do it either way you prefer. But I would actually prefer, like I said, that you write about customer service as an employee. And then, of course, you can look at it as an employee, and then also, as a customer, or how they serve customers. So like if you work as a manager at the Home Depot, how effective are they with handling customer complaints and issues and so on. And then how is the Home Depot as far as in dealing with its employees. Now remember, you have to have an introduction. You have to have 4 body paragraphs, 1 per point of criteria. I like to also see headings in this assignment, and because I can see what point of criteria you're hitting, and when you're done with one point, and then when you're moving on to the next. So that's what's coming up for this Friday the 1st. For Friday, February the 8th, you actually have 2 assignments. The first one, there's a discussion board posting. You need to do the first posting in 2 paragraphs by Wednesday, February the 6th, and then you need to respond to what another student said. You can click reply, and then you respond in a paragraph to what another student said. Make sure, though, when you do the discussion board postings, spell check them, proofread them, and give them some thought so that you give a pretty thorough, clear response. Not only do I look at what you say, but how you phrase it and how clear your logic is. Especially in technical writing, you need to make sure that you have a logical, linear, clear thinking way of writing and thinking. So that's important. And then you have to do an assignment also for the 8th, where you have to evaluate or compare a newspaper website from the United States. So, for example, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, the Tribune Review, the Wall Street Journal, any that you like, and compare that to a newspaper website from another country, China, India. I've had people that did Ireland. There's a big newspaper in the Middle East called Al Jazeera, which is really one of the largest newspapers. And my brother Steve, when he travels, he always gets the International Herald Tribune, which is the international edition of the New York Times. So that's what's due, and you have to do a comparison and looking at, 3 or 4 points of criteria. That's listed in assignment. So, I wanted to mention that to you. When we get into the 15th, for that Friday, you have to evaluate good and bad written instructions. So, for example, if you put together a bookcase, from IKEA, or, if you ever had to put together one of these huge play sets for children. I mean, some of them are rather large these days. And then, of course, there's sporting equipment. A friend of mine just bought a new snowblower, and he had to assemble that. It wasn't too bad at all. So you're evaluating the effectiveness of the writing and the formatting and so on. And so that'll be due for the 15th. And then finally, the other item that I wanted to mention to you is for the 22nd, you have to do a 3-part summary assignment. Somebody sent me an email yesterday, and they weren't sure what it was about. And it's not, you don't want to overcomplicate this, okay? What you need to do is you need to find an article of 3 to 5 pages, so certainly it can be longer. Look at EBSCOhost through our library website, LexisNexis. Of course, you can use Google, and if you go to another school, if you have access to another library database, you can certainly use that. But I just want you to do like a visual representation of the information. You can use like a cluster. You can use, some people will use PowerPoint, but you just need to show it in a way where you have like a circle, and then you have it broken down into a couple other circles and show the breakdown visually. Okay, some people actually use Microsoft Visio, which is a visual organizer software that's part of Microsoft Office. Some people use PowerPoint. There's like word art. There's lots of options you can use. So you have to do that. Then you have to do a summary of about 1,000 words. And then you have to do a summary of about 300 words or so, about a third of the original. So you're getting an article from like a trade publication, would be like the Working Chef, the Emergency Room Nurse, or a journal like the New England Journal of Medicine and so on, and you're presenting the same information in three different ways. I teach a criminal justice writing class, and one of my students had to do, it was actually involved in a case involving these two children, and one of them died, I guess apparently of sudden infant death syndrome while the child was at Ohio Powell. The parents were at a party, and they left the children in the van, and so this student I had was a state trooper, had to prosecute the case, and so he had to present it at the district magistrate level. He had to go to the Court of Common Pleas, and then he also had to do something else. I think he had to go to Child and Youth Protective Services. But what I'm just trying to say is sometimes with different types of information you have to do, you're going to have to present it in different ways. So I just wanted to kind of give you a heads up as far as what's happening. So these videos have been stopping at about 8 minutes. So I'm at 6 minutes now. So I just want to stop while this thing is still recording. So that's it for now. Have a good Monday. Thanks.